So hello there, crap to cream, and this is just about bleeding the brakes on a late MGB. I'm assuming it'll apply to both the MGB and the MGB GT, but anyway, this is a 77 model, and when I originally fitted the brakes, it's a dual circuit system, so you have one to the rear and then one to each front caliper. And when I fitted the brakes, right, it didn't or wouldn't bleed very well, you know, so I always ended up with a soft pedal. And I did a bit of YouTube searching, and everybody seemed to do everything the same way, and I went in and then I resorted to the manual. So this is a late manual, so it's for a 78. And when I got to the bleeding the brakes part, when you read the standard manual, it tells you to start the cylinder furthest away from the master cylinder. So I did, you know, and that's the way I bled the brakes. So I did the rear left, rear right, front left, front right. Yeah, couldn't get the brakes. Anyway, so I read the book, which is maybe a novel topic, after I'd done a bit of a YouTube search and found that, you know, everybody does it the same way as that I was doing it. But when you read the book, it talks here, as I've highlighted, disconnect the pressure failure switch wiring connection and unscrew the switch 3.5 complete turns to ensure the switch plunger is clear of the differential piston. So I don't know what difference that makes, right? Whether the differential piston interferes with the piston travel or whatever it does. But hey, that's what I've done today. So I'm hoping you can see underneath here is this little white switch underneath the master cylinder. So I disconnected the wires and I undescrewed it 3.5 turns, and then the brake bleeding procedure then says to start at the wheel nearest the master cylinder instead of furthest away. And then you go to the front left, then you go to the rear left, and in the end you go to the rear right, unless it's a left-hand drive car, of course, and then you can work it out from there. But anyway, I did that, and I did it with assistance from my wife, what they apparently call the buddy method. So I'm a bit old school in that way. So I bled everything through, and I got a lot of more air out, and now the pedal is fantastic. So it's just a case of undoing this switch, and it must allow something to happen inside the master cylinder that won't happen if the switch is in place. So I've done that. No brake fluid leaked out of the switch after I'd done it 3.5 turns. I bled the brakes and put it all back together again, and the brake pedal is as solid as a rock. So that's the way that I believe that you have to do the late one. So the early one is the conventional way, where you just start at the furthest away and you work your way to the nearest. This way you work your way from the closest to the furthest and let the switch go 3.5 turns. So there you go, and that was a raging success. On to the next little project, whatever that might be.